was walking through a path with no light, where the shadows seemed to swallow me whole. The silence felt heavier than fear, and I no longer knew how to move on. Questions were screaming inside my soul, and the future felt like it disappeared. But even when I could not see ahead, something was holding me up. It was not the absence of pain, nor the end of the storm. It was an unseen presence keeping me safe in the dark. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Even if I walk in the darkness, I will not fear, I will not fall, because the God who walks beside me will not leave me alone at all. Even when I see no way out, even when everything feels like the end, your love leads me through the night and remains my faithful friend. I thought I had been forgotten, that the valley was my final place. But in the deepest part of sorrow, I felt your fatherly embrace. You never turned your eyes from me, not even for a single moment. And in the silence of the darkness, your mercy found where I went. How many walk without hope today, thinking God has turned away? But even in the darkest valley, it is the Lord who makes a way. Your staff corrects and guides me, your rod lifts me up again. And even when all seems lost around me, you are with me till the end. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Yeah, even if the world collapses, I know I am never alone. The shepherd of my soul is guiding me, and will always lead me home. If today you walk in darkness, do not fear. He is with you. Sores covered every part of my body. Pain would not let me rest. Sitting among ashes in silence, I felt my strength fading away. Everything I once possessed was gone. My days no longer carried light. The nights were heavy and endless, and sorrow followed every step. Then I heard a familiar voice from someone who once walked beside me. But those words pierced my heart like the coldest wind in the desert. She said, "Do you still hold fast your integrity? Curse God and die." But my soul held on to hope, even when everything seemed lost. If we accept good from God, should we not also endure trouble? Though wounded, I kept believing. Though broken, I chose to trust. It was not only the pain of the sores, it was the pain of remaining faithful. When everyone expected me to fall, I searched for strength to stand. I could not understand your way, nor the reason for this trial. But something deep inside my soul still worshipped in the darkness. When the voice of despair was shouting, trying to make me abandon my faith, when suffering spoke louder than hope, I remembered who you are, the God who reigns above the heavens, had not lost control of my life. Even without answers to my questions, I knew you were still with me. Do you still hold fast your integrity? Yes, Lord. I will remain faithful, even if the whole world abandons me. I will not let go of your hand. If pain comes like a mighty storm, if the night seems it will never end, the God who sustained Job in the ashes will also sustain me. When even those you love begin to doubt, when hope seems far away, stand firm, because God is still in control. Even in the middle of the trial. I was in silence in the spirit, when a voice called me from above, saying, "Come up here." And everything changed in love. A door I had never seen before opened right in front of me, and the weight of the earth behind me fell as I stepped into mystery. It was not just a vision, it was the throne revealed, and everything I knew on earth became unreal. After this I looked, and behold, a door was opened in heaven. And the first voice which I heard was as it were of a trumpet talking with me, which said, "Come up hither, and I will shew thee things which must be hereafter." When heaven opens over me, nothing holds me down again. I saw eternity's doorway calling me to rise and ascend. The voice that breaks all limits takes me beyond what I see. For when heaven is manifested, the earth must bend its knee. I saw the beginning of glory, a light that never fades, and everything that once felt limited lost its power and its chains. The world became so small and distant before the throne of God, and what once looked like the end of my journey was just where I had begun. Who can stand when heaven opens? Who can ignore his call? If he speaks from highest glory, he will carry through it all. Nothing on earth compares to what the heavens show, and those who enter that dimension will never be low. After this I looked, and behold, a door was opened in heaven. When heaven opens over me, I am never the same again. For the voice that comes from the eternal throne calls me to rise and ascend. And if today you feel the burden of this world upon your soul, listen to the voice from heaven saying, "Come up and know." When heaven opens, nothing on earth stays the same. The sun was shining like any other morning. The fields were filled with peace and life. My children were gathered together in celebration, and I thanked God for all He had given me. I did not know what was coming, nor how quickly the winds would change. In a single day, news came like arrows, and my heart began to break apart. Then someone came running with sorrow, with tears I could not understand. And when I heard those dreadful words, it felt like the world had reached its end. When everything fell in a single day, when the house collapsed before my eyes, when the wind carried away those I loved most, I could not understand why. Tears soaked the ground of my soul, silence filled the depths of my heart. But even in the middle of my greatest loss, God was still there with me. I tore my robe in overwhelming sorrow. I fell to my knees with no words to say. Questions burned deep inside my chest, while grief tried to consume my soul. Naked I came into this world, and naked I will leave one day. The Lord is given, and the Lord is taken away. Yet even weeping, I chose to trust. How can such suffering be understood? How can someone continue when all is gone? The night seemed like it would never end, and the burden was greater than my strength. But above the tears and above the silence, there was a God seated upon His throne. Even when I could not see Him, His hands were still holding my life. When everything fell in a single day, when my whole world shattered apart, when pain spoke louder than hope, your presence remained beside me. And if someone today is crying alone, unable to understand their suffering, the God who kept Job through the storm will also keep your heart secure. There are sorrows we cannot explain. There are losses that change a lifetime. But above the wind is still God. The night arrived without a warning and brought loneliness with it. Tears were falling in the silence onto the ground of my weary heart. I searched for answers in the darkness, but could not see beyond the pain. Every moment felt so endless, and hope seemed far away from me. Yet even when all was shadow, there was a promise I could hold, a word shining in the darkness, teaching me how to wait. For his anger lasts only a moment, his favor lasts a lifetime. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. When the night seems never ending, when sorrow refuses to leave, God is preparing a brand new morning. Even when I cannot yet see, the sun of grace is slowly rising behind the clouds of suffering, and the hand that wipes away my tears is restoring my heart again. There were moments when I thought I would never smile again, that sadness would stay forever, and I could not continue on. But God is working in the silence, while the soul learns how to trust, and what feels like a long delay is simply God preparing his time. No night lasts forever, no storm remains forever. The same God who counts the stars is watching over me. When I am weak and full of questions, his faithfulness sustains my soul. And when my strength is gone completely, his presence makes me whole. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. God's morning is approaching, bringing healing and restoration. The tears will not write the ending of the story held in his hands. If today you are weeping in secret, not knowing when the pain will end, keep standing firm. God is near, and his light will shine again. Maybe the night is still dark, maybe the tears are still falling, but God's morning never fails. And when it arrives, you will see that he was with you all along. was not the strongest among others, no greatness to my name. While the world chose only the shining, I was left in shame. I didn't have what made me noticed, no title to display, but something deep inside my spirit God chose anyway. What the world calls weak and broken, God turns into might. And what no one ever valued, He brings into the light. But God hath chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. And God hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. Even small I am chosen, even weak I am His. For the power is not inside me, but in the God I live in. What the world rejects and discards, God lifts with His own hand. For He writes His greatest story in the hearts He has planned. I learned it's not about appearance, no strength that makes me win. It's when God steps into my story and chooses me within. He doesn't need great reputation or status to use me. He only seeks a willing heart to trust Him faithfully. How many feel forgotten with no worth to their name? But God chooses the unlikely to reveal His flame. He takes the overlooked ones and makes them strong in Him. For the glory is not man's own, but God's light within. God hath chosen the weak things of the world. God hath chosen even small I am chosen, even simple I am His. And what once looked impossible now belongs to His. And if today you feel like nothing with no direction near, remember God has chosen you with love and purpose clear. God uses the weak to reveal His power. I was not the strongest among others. The road became much narrower, and the night fell over me. The mountains hid the sunlight, and I could not see the end. The wind was blowing colder, and fear tried to stop my steps. Every mile felt a little heavier as I struggled to move ahead. There were shadows all around me, and questions inside my heart. But a gentle voice kept speaking through the darkness of the night. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. When the valley seems endless, when the soul begins to lose hope, your presence lights the pathway and teaches me to carry on. It is not the absence of the storm that helps me stand strong today. It is knowing the God of wonders walks beside me all the way. Not every valley lasts forever. Not every night is here to stay. There are promises along the journey my eyes will one day see revealed. The shepherd never loses his sheep, nor abandons those who trust. Even when I cannot see your hand, I can feel your guidance and love. Many surrender to the shadows, believing God has forgotten them. But it is often in the darkest valleys that His love shines brightest. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. When all my strength is gone, your grace becomes my song. And in the middle of the darkness, your faithfulness carries me on. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. The valley is not my destination. It is only part of the road. After the pain comes restoration. After the cross comes the dawn. And when I reach the other side, I will finally understand that every step through the dark valley was bringing me closer to you. If today you are walking through the valley, do not stop. The shepherd is still beside you. And the glory of God is just ahead. I was living in a foreign land where no one understood my faith. The laws around me kept changing, but my God remained the same. The threats were rising all around me. A decree tried to silence my voice, but in my private place of prayer, I still made my choice. Even knowing the danger, even knowing the cost, I opened the window of my soul and lifted my voice to God. Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open, in his chamber toward Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day, and prayed and gave thanks before his God, as he did aforetime. Even in exile I pray, even under pressure I remain. If the world tries to shut my voice, I will still call on his name. 3 times a day I bow down, with my windows open to the sky, because those who pray in a foreign land never lose God's guiding eye. I will not deny what I believe, even when everything says no. My faith is not ruled by kingdoms, but by the King I know. Exile cannot close the heavens, nor can it stop my prayer. For those who walk with the living God always find him there. Many have been pressured to abandon their devotion, but those who lift their voice in secret overcome every oppression. Doors may be shut before me, decrees may try to stand, but the presence of God within my life no one can command. Daniel knew that the writing was signed. He went into his house and prayed, as he did aforetime. Even in exile I pray, even in battle I will stand. For those who remain faithful in secret, God will honor their hand. because God is still secure. Exile does not change heaven. It only reveals who keeps praying. For so long I walked through shadows, not knowing what was yet to come. I watched my dreams fall to the ground and felt my strength slowly disappear. I asked questions in my suffering, searching for answers in the dark. But the heavens seemed so silent as I carried the weight of pain. When I thought that all was lost, when hope seemed ready to fade away, I heard your voice above the storm, reminding me of who you are. Now I know. I know that you can do all things, and that no purpose of yours can be thwarted. God is still in control, even when I cannot understand. God is still writing my story, even when everything seems lost. What my eyes cannot yet see, your hands are already preparing. And what looked like the end to me was only God still working. Then my eyes finally saw you in a way I never had before. Not only through what I had heard, but through your presence in my life. My wounds did not tell the whole story, my tears were not the final page. Above every pain I had endured, your purpose remained unchanged. Who can stop your holy purpose? Who can stand against your power? The winds obey your mighty voice, and heaven declares who you are. When everything seemed destroyed, you were preparing restoration. While I was weeping through the trial, you were writing my redemption. The storm tries to frighten me, I will remember this truth forever. The God who carried Job to the end remains the same for every generation. Nothing escapes your authority, nothing slips from your hands. And after the darkest night, a new morning rises again. You cannot understand the journey, when the answers take time, remember, God has never lost control, not even for a single moment. I was lying there for so long, waiting for a miracle to come. People pass me every single day, but no one stopped for someone. My strength was gone completely, and hope had almost faded away. I lived stuck in the same old place, while time was turning gray. But then I heard a different voice breaking through my pain. It was not just an invitation, it was power in your name. Jesus, safe unto him rise. Take up thy bed and walk. Get up and walk. Your voice spoke life and broke my deepest chain. What was my prison became my path when you called me by your name. I had been stuck for so many years, but your word made me whole. For when Jesus speaks his living word, it restores the soul. I did not need someone to carry me, nor water to heal my frame. One word that came from heaven above changed everything in my name. What I could not do for years and years happened in a single moment's breath. For the power of your holy presence defeats even death. How many wait for answers still, stuck in the same old place? But one word from Jesus spoken can rewrite every trace. He does not need conditions nor time to make things new. When he says rise up and walk now, there is nothing you can't do. Jesus, safe unto him rise. Take up thy bed and walk. Get up and walk. I followed you, and everything began to change. For those who receive your living word will never be the same. And if today you feel so broken with no strength to carry on, hear the voice of the Son of God, still calling you to come. One word from Jesus, and everything can rise again.